Definitely, we were talking about that. It's definitely in the talks. We're trying to take this tour all around the world.
Right.
We would love to take it all around the world. There's definitely been some interest recently in Europe and Australia and a couple other places over there. So it's not been officially announced yet, but we're definitely in the process of making that happen and try to take, like I said, this hopefully all around the world.
Oh, it's your secret safe with me. And how was it going back to, I mean, you guys, the thing about you guys that people in America don't realize, your international thing is ridiculously huge. People, like, I know that the United States is kind of wishy-washy. We can go in and out of like cycles and stuff, but internationally, you can ask anybody and they'll still represent Backstreet Boys all the way through. Now, how was it coming back to the United States and doing those arenas again when you've been doing like the smaller pavilions and smaller arenas?
Oh, it's good. It was great. I think to me, the fact that we were able to put this tour together and do arenas again with the new kids. At the same time before that, doing some pavilions on our own. I think it's when you get too caught up in just one thing, then it does come monotonous.
Right.
And I've enjoyed the times where we've been able to play arena stadiums, and at the same time I've enjoyed just as much some of those smaller intimate concerts because it keeps it very fresh, and it keeps you also on your toes to try to strive to always be the biggest that you can. So in the times that we were not playing arenas, we're working just as hard to get back to arenas.
Right.
And then when we're playing arenas, sometimes it's fun just to do a one-off night, just a little small private concert.
See, I went to the Long Island show, very last one, because I had been putting it off for so long and getting tickets. I have never been to such an awesome show ever in my life. Holy crap.
Oh, thank you.
You put it together so well with both the groups, and when Belle Biv DeVoe came out, you could have called me dead.
That was a fun little surprise, huh?
It was amazing. The girl in front of us said, "Who are those people?" And the ladies behind us wanted to fight, and I was like, yeah, I'm in New York right now. Awesome. But everything was done so well. There was a good balance. And I'm looking around. I've been to maybe 3 or 4 of your concerts just with the Backstreet Boys in different sections. And it was cool to see it. And I always wonder, you always talk about how the fans have watched you grow up. How is it seeing like your fans grow up? Because I mean, they're not kids anymore, obviously, not teenagers anymore, but they're grown women now.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, it's awesome to see how we're all growing together, and some of our fans that have been there since like day one, 18 years ago, and to see where their lives are at now. Some of them are, have great jobs of their own. Some of them are actually in the music industry, like yourself, like they're doing, working on radio.
Yeah.
Some of them now have kids. Some of us have kids, and it's just really cool to see. As we're all growing and older, and life is just changing for all of us. So,
right. Like you're
fun.
Married with the baby now.
Yeah.
He's probably he's almost 2, right now?
He's just a little over 2, almost 2 and a half now.
So is he like throwing things and just being a terrible 2, but cute at the same time?
He's at 2 age, that's for sure. He's definitely there. Big guy, we don't got too many things to throw around, but besides a couple microphones here and there. But
here's your own fake microphone. Just throw that at the window.
He's got one of those already. He's come up on stage with me before with it and thinks he's performing like Daddy.
Awesome.
That's cool.
That's so cute. Now, when are you guys going in for a Backstreet album? I mean, not that you have any time, but when are you guys going in for another Backstreet, if you are going in for another Backstreet album?
We're definitely in, wanting to make another Backstreet record. Right now, we're pretty much, putting a game plan together, gathering songs. It's all a pre-production.
Right.
And so hopefully we're, try to get in stuff in the studio before the end of this year. If not, come early next year.
And of course another tour.
Absolutely.
And of course it's obviously come out that I've been a fan of yours since I was 16. We won't add up the years. It's been about 12 years. And so this has been a nervous thing for me because I've tried to be professional.
Oh, you're doing great. That's awesome. Thank you.
I do interviews all the time, but because I don't really have like a connection or anywhere to go like in the past with them, they don't make me nervous. They never make me nervous.
That's very flattering.
This has. Like I met you guys in Vienna, Virginia in 2008, and then in Long Island this time, but very brief. And every time I go to one of your shows, it's always better.
Oh,
and that's why I always try to like put you out and help any kind of promotion I can on this level, because you guys work for it.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Anytime you put out a new record, that means I have to spend a lot of money because my CD's scratched. That last album, I was sad that the promotion didn't get done like I thought it should, because you had you had a ton of great This Is Us, that song itself.
Thank you. I don't know if you know, I actually co-wrote on that song.
I know.
So thank you. That's really sweet of you.
I didn't want to get too goofy with it. I don't want to embarrass myself too much. But that whole album I thought it was a good way to come back to what you had always done. And I've always been a fan of more of the pop R&B stuff that you got, because that's what drew me in. My mom got me a bunch of CDs when I was 16. And she's like, here's the 5 white boys you were talking about. She got me a Backstreet Boys album and an NSYNC album, and I didn't relate to that, but I related to this one, and I was like, okay. And 10 years ago, I lost my grandparents, who were like my parents, and going through that time, they were both died of cancer, and
I know really well.
Yeah, like 5 months apart. So it's really tough.
Wow.
My freshman year of college, and I know this is getting weird, but it was the music that helped me heal. Like, it was a long time healing. I can't listen to The Perfect Fan or Never Gone anymore, but
I hear you.
But there's still the moments that like I feel comfort with. It's like I can go back in time where All I Have to Give still is my favorite song, but it would help me get through.
Mine too.
Still is.
That's great. You know, it's so refreshing and so, I don't know what the word is, gratifying to, hear those kind of stories from fans of ours, because, you try to make music and you hope that it touches people in a special way and, creates memories, and sometimes it helps music, even helps people get through, sad memories.
Absolutely.
But it's great to hear how our music touches people like that.
Absolutely. And this year you made me spend a ton of money, because I finally broke down and got an iPod and had to buy the whole catalog again.
Oh, shoot, all over.
Can't add up how much that costs, but that's okay.
Sorry about that.
But I wanted to thank you. Oh, but really quick, you get interviewed all the time in all different countries, all different languages, but I'm sure there's one question that people never ask you, that you like wish somebody would ask you. What would that question be?
Oh my gosh. That's the first time I've gotten asked that one. You stumped me on that. Wow.
It's my favorite question to ask.
That's a tough one. Wow, you really stumped me on that. I think I've been asked everything in the world, I feel like.
This is a standard question I give to people, and it started with you guys when I used to watch MTV. Like, before I listened to you guys, I was going to be a doctor, so thanks for putting me in radio.
Wow.
I'm kidding. But, like, I used to watch it and see everybody, and I still watch TV and watch all these people ask the same questions over and over again. And I'm like, how annoying would that be? I know they want them to ask something else. There's got to be something else that they want someone to ask them, so... This is your fault.
I mean, one thing I may have gotten asked once or something, and I'm just kind of thinking because it's popping in my head, but I feel like I don't get asked. No, if I have gotten, I don't feel like I've gotten asked enough on it. Like, where do I get my musical talents from? And I think a lot of times people think it's from my mom's side of the family because she's Latin, but it's actually from my dad's side of the family. Who's like all-American white boy from Georgia down south, and. But he, when I go back to our family reunions every year, I always see how we have this little church and like a little graveyard. It's the Doros, church and cemetery, and it's like a little house on the prairies kind of a thing. It's kind of funny, but I would go in there and listen to my aunts and some of my great aunts, and they would just play along the piano and just sing along. And it's just kind of crazy. I'm like, wow, this is where I get my musical talent from. It's on my dad's side, actually.
See, that makes sense. Those Southerners, they know how to do their thing. I wish I had it.
Southern gospel.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Well, Howie, thank you so much.
Oh, it was so great talking to you.
It was amazing talking to you.
See you again in the future sometime, hopefully soon.
Yeah, as long as I don't go broke, I guess I'll be around. Thank you so much.
For your support. I appreciate it.
Can't wait to listen to the entire Back to Me album. And